And we're going to give this a try again. And a perfect example of why you need a team. I went out and did a video earlier and forgot to do the sound check. As we're sitting here to thank the team and everybody who's supporting me, it's a good reminder of why we have a team. It's back in the days when I ran at assembly lines, we had a thing. You always check the chart, and I didn't check the chart today. So, but as we do, we admit what we do wrong and we fix them. So we're going to do it again. Today is the end of our journey. Well, it's the end of this leg of our journey. And I want to take a few minutes to thank everybody who has been a part of this journey, who has been supportive. I'll save the most important thank you for last. But first, we want to thank Karen, who is our treasurer, takes on the second biggest task, but likely the most important task of any campaign. Without someone there to do the treasury part of this, I don't know what we do. I don't know if we run the same type of campaign. So thank you. And thank Emily for being willing to train her. Most of our staff was first timers, or maybe even the second time. And so we needed people who were willing to help train, willing to help give them information they needed to be successful. And Emily was part of that. And we thank you. And to the rest of my team, Brandon, my campaign manager, who does most of the writing, he has to listen to me talk and then change that into written format. And that is not a task I would, wish on anybody, but he did it with class and style. And most importantly, he did it in a way that I could trust. For me, the most important thing of a campaign manager was someone I could ultimately trust to at least, with the best of his ability, make the decisions that he thinks I would make. And I never had to worry about that with Brandon. And I thank him for that. Then we get to the rest of the team. Morgan, Robert, who have ill-defined roles. But yet every time I threw them a task, they responded. We have John and Elizabeth, who helped train the staff when they needed training. They're the ones with experience. And they had other tasks to do. They have other candidates to help, but yet they found time to help us. We have Tiara, who, despite, being a young mother, having to worry about coronaviruses and all the issues that were going on in her life, including having to be evacuated under threat of fires, but yet she was always there when we needed her. We have to thank all the donors. Whether it was $20 or $200, we can't do this without you. There is no campaign without that help. And we figured out how to run a campaign effectively with little money, but we still needed some. And whether it was an ideological donation where you supported the cause, or a donation where you supported the person, you supported the journey, I thank all of you. I mean, that is actually the most humbling thing of all, is you have people willing to give their money in a long shot attempt just to do the right thing, to change the way politics is done. And I don't have the right words for thank you for that, so we'll have to stick with thank you. To those of you who joined the Whisper campaign, who went out and spread the name, said, hey, just check this guy out. Thank you. You are the bread and butter of our campaign. To Matches and to Richard, who went out and helped drop off flyers. And I know I'm forgetting a couple names on that, and I apologize, but we don't write a script. But to those who went out and dropped off flyers, we love you. To Scott, without his help in making me a better signature gatherer, we might not be here. Thank you. And to the lovely Christina, who sits here and pushes buttons for us, but most importantly, puts up with me at the end of the day when I become unwind and become a bit childish. That 12-year-old sense of humor comes out. She has to put up with that for the last 11 months. But it's not just that. She's probably had to bear a heavier burden than I have. Because this is my journey. You know, I'm the one who decided on it, and she has to support it. Well, she chose to. She didn't have to. She could have said no, and I would have not run. Thank you. But our journey is not over. We are at a fork in the road. That's what elections are. We have one way if we get elected. We have a steep learning curve on learning to be an assembly member and learning to do it differently. How that actually functions. If we don't win, which is, to be honest, the more likely case, our journey does not end. Now more than ever, I realize that we were right. Not about policy, not about ideology, about how broken the system is. That the average person has no voice, but the politically connected do. And so, with what skills I have, how can we change that? Well, we're going to take this page, we're going to take this movement, and we're going to change it into Just for Sacramento and start a podcast. We will talk to mostly average people, the non-connected activists, the people who are out there doing work, trying to make the world a better place, who aren't politically connected, whose politics isn't their goal. Those are the people whose voices need to be heard. And I can do that. I can help with that. So we're going to try to move forward that way. You know, it's a big learning curve, but I have been blessed with a supportive team, supportive community, and people who are willing to educate me. So I want to thank all of you for your time and your consideration. On election night, I do have it posted in the description. My TV show is doing some election night coverage. Feel free to stop by if you wish. But mostly I'm here to thank you. This has been a rewarding experience. As much effort as I have put in, I have gotten back 3 times as much. I am never happier than when I am learning, and I have been constantly learning. And that is a gift that my community has given to me. If you haven't voted yet, you still have a few hours. Doesn't matter who you vote for. Be heard. Thank you. Love everybody.